Hello, welcome to Modern Aromatic. I'm Susan and today I'm going to talk to you about a wonderful little oil called Ylang Ylang. Now a lot of people, hang on, here we are, wait, there we are. So a lot of people pronounce this incorrectly. The name with the Y in front of it is kind of deceiving, and so a lot of people call it Ylang Ylang, and it's actually pronounced Ylang. So like basically think of it as an E, not a Y, so it's Ylang Ylang. Now that we've got that straightened out, I want to talk to you about this lovely little oil. It's wonderful, and it has been out of stock with Young Living for the past year due to constraint issues. So what they do is like they make sure that they're not depleting too much of a plant. So they took this out of stock so that they could make sure that the plant was able to regenerate and grow, and that they weren't disrupting the growth impact and environment of the plant itself. So kudos to them for making sure that, you know, that they're making sure that that the plant will thrive in the indigenous areas where it is grown. So it's been out of stock for a year, so I've been coveting this for a very long time, and it's back in stock, so I bought another bottle, which I absolutely love. It is, oh, how do I describe it? It's floral, right? So it is flowery. I mean, it's from a yellow flower. So it's floral, it's fresh, it's quite a strong smell in terms of the floral of it. It's strong, but it's also sweet and slightly fruity. But it's strong but yet delicate. It's so hard to describe this. There's a lot of layers to it. It's considered a medium note. So when you're blending oils, you really typically want to pick a top note, a base note, and a middle note. That way you have a nice like blend, so like an even blend. So typically the top notes are all the citrus ones. The middle note actually kind of like balances between the base, which would be your heavier scents like a frankincense or a sandalwood. These are like or a vetiver, patchouli. These are like typically woodsy, very heavy notes that will, you don't smell them right off the bat, but they kind of like stick around for a long time. The middle is what ties the base and the top notes together. So this is considered a mid to base note just because of the constituents in it and how it sort of blends and the scent of it. So Ylang Ylang is a really good oil for promoting emotional balance, mental balance. It helps ease like feelings of anger, sadness. You know, basically it just sort of like evens out your temperament. It's very uplifting, so when you have those blue moments, you really want to use Ylang Ylang to uplift your spirits. It's known so well for that, as well as stress. It is an amazing stress reliever. There was a study done in 2008 in the Journal of Neuroscience where they took a look at the effects of Ylang Ylang and noticed that all of the test subjects had an increase of, hang on, where are my notes? It had an increase of, yeah, increased relaxation and decreased alertness, which is kind of really interesting. So when you're smelling that and you just sort of like get into that mode where you're like, oh yeah, I'm super relaxed, they noticed that there was a decrease in alertness but an increase in that like relaxation, stress relief. That's what it's really good for. That was in that study in 2008. It was also like while they compared against peppermint, where they noticed that there was an increase of alertness with peppermint, which we all know is that peppermint really wakes you up. It puts that pep in your step. But whereas Ylang Ylang is on the other side of the spectrum, where it's totally going to mellow you out, it's going to calm you down. It's really good for like stress relieving at the end of the day, where you just want to kind of like switch everything off. Ylang Ylang is really good for that. There is a whole list of uses for Ylang Ylang. It's so good for your whole body system. It's so good for increasing circulation within the bloodstream, so therefore it's super healthy to support our like good functioning heart system. It's known to lower blood pressure just because it works on the blood circulation and supporting the blood circulation within your body, that it has been known to reduce blood pressure and support a healthy heart. It's also good for those, you know, when you get those crazy thoughts and you need to switch off the crazy thoughts, and nervousness and all of the things that go with, like, you know, the erratic mind, that you need to calm that down. Ylang Ylang is super good for that. I'm going to read off a whole bunch of things right here that this thing it's so amazing for. So like I had already mentioned, it's really good for anger, so it will calm you down. So when you're feeling like, you know, unreasonable anger, just sniff that and it should help. But it's also antibacterial, it's antifungal, it also calms down inflammation. So if you have a boo-boo on your skin, it's really good to actually calm down the inflammation of that, and it also helps to promote healing. So when you do have those boo-boos, you know, you can either use lavender, because lavender is really good for that as well, but so is Ylang Ylang. It is pretty amazing for increasing the rate of healing within your skin. It's amazing for supporting skin, which is why you'll find it in a lot of beauty care products, or even with perfumes as well. You'll find Ylang Ylang is used for that, but it's so supportive for your skin. There's a whole number of skin issues that it targets and also helps support. So you can put a drop of that, put a drop in Ylang Ylang in your nightly cream and apply that to your face, and you'll start to see some really good benefits from that. Super supportive of skincare. It's also an aphrodisiac, so when you need a little pep, a little oomph in the bedroom, you should use some Ylang Ylang. It would be great actually to mix it with a carrier oil and give your significant other or your partner a massage, just massaging it into the shoulders. It's going to reduce stress. Massage it into their feet or your feet. Do a mutual massage. It's an aphrodisiac, so it will spice things up in the bedroom if that's something that you need. It also increases libido. So like I said, aphrodisiac, increases libido in both men and women, and it has also been shown to help men who have low testosterone levels. So it really will support men when they're having low testosterone issues. It will help support the little swimmers. So there's that. It's also really good, like I said, I mentioned for like skin, but it's good for dandruff. So you can actually spritz some on your hair, on your scalp after you've had a shower. It will help support that, because typically dandruff is it's caused by an overproduction of oil. So when you've got really oily scalp, that will attract bacteria, and that bacteria turns basically into dandruff because it's just all sitting there, right? So Ylang Ylang is really good for leveling out the oil that's in your skin. So it helps with oily skin in your face, but also on your scalp as well. So it will help balance that oil, it'll even the oil out. So you can use that, like I said, on your scalp as well as on your face, for anybody that's got oily skin. or oily hair. Again, I mentioned skincare. It's really good for meditation, for reducing nervousness. You know, when you get those feelings of like, you know, something's going on and I don't really like it, you could use it before you go flying to kind of like calm you down. Super good for hypertension, like I had mentioned earlier, hypertension and lowering blood pressure. It's also good for grief. So I know I'd mentioned at the beginning that it's really good for like emotional and mental stability and balance, but it is also really good for grief. So when you really are dealing with feelings of sorrow and grief, it's uplifting. So when you really do need that additional help to sort of uplift your spirits, this little bottle here is something that you should be turning to. You could use that. There's so many different ways that you could use this. You could use it topically, so you could put a dropper on your wrists or behind your ears or even on the back of your neck, and you can use that as your daily perfume. You can add a couple of drops to some Epsom salts. If you add some to some Epsom salts and then take a really nice long bath, I would suggest at least soaking for 15 minutes in the bath with that. Then you could also mix a couple of drops in with coconut oil, and then you could apply that to your hair as a deep conditioning treatment, and then leave that on for a little while. I'd say like probably 20-30 minutes, then wash that off, and it will really help with beautiful hair and a beautiful healthy scalp as well. I mentioned earlier diluting it in some carrier oil, use it as a massage. Definitely put it in your shoulders if you've got some work stress, or even on the bottom of your feet, and just give yourself a massage. Or if your husband, partner, whoever is nice and they want to give you a massage, have them do it for you. You could also add a few drops in with an unscented body lotion, and that will get into your system and it's going to support your skin. So I would suggest that you research for yourself. Go on Google. Google's amazing for finding a lot of information that's out there, and there are a ton of uses for Ylang Ylang. I highly recommend it. It really is a beautiful oil, and if you have any questions about this oil or about any other oil, please just drop me a line, hit me up with some comments, and I will be back again next time with another product overview. And if you are interested in Young Living, you can go to my website, which is www.modernaromatic.com, and I have tons of information on there about Young Living as a company, about how you can get your own oils and start to build up your own repertoire or your own collection of oils. And I'm just going to keep coming back on showing you different ways that you can use all these oils. But if you want to get your hands on some of the top best quality oils that you can buy, I highly recommend Young Living. Go to my website, there's tons of information there. And again, if you have any questions, you can always email me at modernaromatic@gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon. I will be back again, and stay happy, stay healthy, and use your oils. Take care.